This is giving meh. That was boring. Hopefully the rest of the book's better. I have to know, so I have to read them. I apparently never made an intro for week 2 of Tarot Readathon. So in this vlog, you're going to see week 2 of Tarot Readathon. I read The Strength of the Few. I also finish up reading Yesteryear, so you'll hear all about Yesteryear and what I thought about that, and lots of other reading as well. So with that being said, like, subscribe, comment if you want it, and here's the vlog. Also coming back in to say, I did finish Yesteryear, and all the footage I have of my last wrap up and thoughts of this is corrupted, and it's not showing up for some reason. And I don't know what happened with that, but I already erased it off my camera, so it's gone, I guess. Anyways, I did end up really liking this. I ended up giving it 5 stars or 4.5 stars. And I had so many wonderful and poignant thoughts about it, but I don't have them now because this is a week removed from me reading it. And I'm really sad about it. I liked the twist. I thought it was well done. I was surprised. I remember writing, what the fuck is going on at one point. So yeah, this went well for me. I think it seems like people who like horror or like a little bit of a silly, goofy time might like this. I mean, it's not silly, goofy, but I think people who like that would like this, like a weird girl kind of person would like this. Yeah, I really liked this. What else do I have to say about it? I'm so sad I lost that footage, but it's gone forever. There's like 3 clips that just went poof. So yeah, I did end up giving this 5 stars. I did really end up liking it, as I said, and I'm repeating myself. We're going to continue with the rest of the vlog where I start drawing more cards and start reading. But anyways, I did finish this on Monday of the 2nd week of the readathon, and I really enjoyed it, as I said 3 times. Hello, I'm here. My hair is still a bit damp from the shower, but I am here. I just had some lunch and I'm ready to pick my new cards for my second spread. So I'm decided, at least this is what I'm thinking. I am going to do a 3-card spread at the beginning of every week and then just draw singles if I need other books for the rest of it. So I already shuffled. So I'm going to pick my first card, and for this card, the alternate prompt in position 1 is choose a book that matches the card's prompt or that matches the card's main emotion or something to do with the actual card itself. For this one, I'm going to pick a card. And I got the Ace of Swords. Read a thought-provoking book. So, all right, read a thought-provoking book. And we'll do the second one. And then our team prompt for the week is to read a book you've been highly anticipating. So, or a book you can't stop thinking about reading. So basically a book that you just really want to read. So that's awesome. Let me pick another one for the second position. The second position is choose a book that matches this card's prompt or swap the king or queen from this card's suit. This is the 7 of Cups. So let's see. 7 of Cups is pick multiple books and blindly randomly pick one from the pile. Blindfolded, partner picking, animal picking, etc. All right, that could be fun. All right, last one. The Page of Swords. So, swords. Read a book featuring secrets or an investigation. That one might be a little bit trickier, but I'm sure I could manage it. And we'll see what kind of books I can come up with. So I'm going to put those in my spreadsheet and I'll let you know what I decide to do. For 7 of Cups, it's to pick a book randomly, so I'm going to do that. And I have 12, well, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 possible places that I could pick a book from, shelf-wise. So I'm going to do a random number 1 through 12, and then I'll count the amount of books on that shelf and do another random number. Pick a number between 1 and 12. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So something from this shelf. I'm going to count all the books. Okay, so I counted and I have 46 books on that shelf. Pick a number 1 through 45. 16. I have no idea. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16! Oh, yay! I've been wanting to read this one. The Trident and the Pearl. Okay, so tentative TBR for this week's spread. I got the Trident and the Pearl for my random book. This one is a little long, I think. It's not too bad. 444 pages, so a chunkier one, I think, but that's okay. It says, forced by the gods to be wed, forced by their secrets to be enemies. Queen Coralie, ruler of the Crocus Isles, kneels to no one, but when her kingdom is besieged by a terrible hurricane, killing her husband and destroying half her nation, she is forced to make a deal with the gods for salvation. But the gods have a wicked sense of justice, and they demand payment for their help. Coraliss must give up her titles and marry the first man to set foot on her pier, a poor wounded fisherman with broad shoulders and dark power in his eyes. But I was looking forward to reading this one because it's just so pretty. But it is the start of a new series, so like I need another one of those. All right, let's read the first. Chapter 1. I was born into the embrace of the sea on a moonless night in the month of the ragged tides. My mother did not bleed out her life into the sea with my arrival, nor was my father visited by a terrible curse. That was boring. Hopefully the rest of the book's better. For my Ace of Swords, which is a thought-provoking book, I'm going to read American Psycho. Finally, I've been wanting to read from Bret Easton Ellis. I think I could like his writing. I'm always down to read a detached, sociopathic writing character. So yeah, I'm gonna read this one. And for, I think people know what this is about, right? It's a satire on the American dream and Wall Street and that culture. Oh, and the main character is a serial killer as well. And then for a book containing secrets, which was for Page of Swords, I believe, I think I will read Boys of the Valley. I've wanted to read from Philip Fracassi for a while, and I've heard really good things about this one, so this might be a win. We'll see. And so these will be my tentative TBR. I will need a audiobook at some point, so I'll probably pull a single card for that unless I decide to read one of these on audio. I definitely could. I think I have Boys in the Valley on Hoopla, maybe. My plan now is to try to edit for a bit before I have to do anything later. I do have book club tonight. We are discussing The Night in the Moth today. And I read this a while ago. I decided not to reread it, but I think I remember enough to talk about it. And I hope everyone liked it because I love this one. Especially Bartholomew. I think I gave this 5 stars. Could have been a 4.5, but it was up there. So now I'm going to try to do a little editing. It is Tuesday now. I am off to run probably about 3 miles today out on the trail. It's just a relaxed, easy run today. It is beautiful out. It is 70, low 70s, and the humidity is not too bad. So I'm loving life right now. So I'm going to go run. Got to get some groceries. I did start American Psycho this morning. I'm about 70 pages in. It's exactly what I thought it would be. It's satire and it's not fun reading from this horrible character, but at the same time, I just love reading from a psychopath's perspective. So that's just who I am. So yes, I am enjoying reading that, and I have seen the movie, but I never read the book, so I wanted to read the book since it is sort of a horror classic at this point. And so I'm going to go run. I'm going to enjoy this beautiful day we're having. My son wants me to pick him up early since his last class of the day got changed to a study hall, so I'm going to go pick him up later after I get the groceries. And we're hoping for a fabulous day. Gonna listen to Strength of the Few on my run. I'm making dinner now, so if you hear the microwave going, that's what that is. I'm warming up some sweet potato for my daughter. And I have now gotten to page 99 in American Psycho. I think most people know what this is, but this is about a psychopath who works on Wall Street in the late 80s. I believe this was written in the 90s, so I'm assuming somewhere around there. He's a psychopath. He doesn't have any feelings. He doesn't care about anyone but himself. He's very into his labels and his clothes and how he is perceived and his hair and working out and treating women and pretty much everyone like they're objects or tools to be stepped on, stepping stools to get what he wants. And in his free time, he also likes to murder women. So yes, I laugh a lot when I'm uncomfortable. So don't mind that. Anyway, it's definitely difficult to be in his head, and it's a lot of naming of labels and stuff like that, which I knew going in. It's supposed to be satire on that whole culture, about how they're all psychopaths, but I think a lot of CEOs and super rich people are psychopaths, and they mentioned Donald Trump in here, but this was pre everything with him. He was just like a rich guy in New York City. I can't say I'm enjoying it, but I really wanted to read this because it is just one of those books that gets mentioned a lot when it comes to cold sociopathic writing style and horror. You know, the movie is out there and I've seen the movie. So, and I also want to read The Shards, so I wanted to read this one first since I think this is his most famous work. I'm definitely skimming through the parts about labels and such, and skimming through to actual plot and actual thoughts of Bateman, not just his clothing and things. But I think that's the point, right? It's like he's not thinking of anything but labels and sex and himself and how he relates to others. You know, he stepped on a homeless man's foot and knocked over his coin cup on purpose, and the homeless man was blind, so of course he didn't help clean up his coins and his money that he collected. He screams at a dry cleaner who can't speak English because she didn't get the blood out of his sheet. Yeah, so lots of horrible things, which is what you would expect from this book. Yeah, I am happy to be reading it because I did want to at least have read this, appreciate it for what it is. Obviously, if anyone is on Bateman's side in this, you don't want anything to do with those people. So yeah, obviously horrible, unlikable character. Interesting writing, in my opinion, but not something that's easy to read because, you know, it's just, they talk horribly about women, they talk horribly about everyone, and yeah, it's not pleasant. But even though the people that he surrounds himself with are very... Hello, Sophia. Hi. Yeah, so even though the people around him are very materialistic, just like him in some ways, he goes over even what they are like, because as far as we know, they're not murdering people. He even quotes Ed Gein. He tells his friends that Ed Gein said this about women: when I see a pretty girl walking down the street, I think two things. One part of me wants to take her out and talk to her and be real nice and sweet and treat her right. What does the other part of him think? His friend says. What her head would look like on a stick, I say. And then his friends look at each other and then back at Bateman, and Bateman starts laughing, and then the other two of them uneasily join in. So yeah, he's even, sometimes he lets little pieces of his proclivities kind of peek out a little bit, and it makes them uncomfortable. So at least they're not as bad as him, even though they're horrible people. And then I am 415 pages into The Strength of the Few. Still enjoying this one. Hopefully I'll finish this one tomorrow, but we'll see. I still have like 300 pages left. It might be a few more days before I finish this one. It's definitely a long one. If I concentrated on just this one, I'm sure I could finish it, but I'm liking just having little, you know, reading 100-ish, 150 pages a day. So it'll probably take me a few more days to read this one. I'm still enjoying it. I am not getting the 5-star feelings from it, definitely not, but I'm still enjoying it. It's going to be, seems like it's going to be at least a 3. We'll see if it goes down anymore, but I'm hoping towards the end it'll pick back up a little bit more. But we're definitely, I feel like we're getting a lot of setup for the next book. And some of the characters I liked aren't in this one as much, so that is taking it down a bit too, but there's lots of new and other interesting things to learn. So I'm glad I'm reading this one too. It's like 2 books that I've been meaning to read for a while now will be read, so that is always good. And I ended up, this is my own copy. I had the library copy, then I ended up picking this one up anyway, and then I have this one. This one's on my own TBR too, so it'll be 2 more books off my own TBR, so that will be good. I am going to finish making dinner for everyone. I got this, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but I got this new overalls. They're shorts. I don't know if you'll be able to see. It's dark in here because the sun's not anywhere near me, but you can't see my head. But these are the overalls. I love a good overall. They just make everything comfy. Just comfy, cozy. I don't, no elastic or anything around the waist. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later.
Silhouettes of you are like a taunt. Never really know just what you want. With you I don't ever feel calm. I can feel the sweat inside my palms. Play with me like cats and a string. You don't understand the pain it brings. You don't ever wanna give me wings. You don't ever wanna set me free.
It is Tuesday night still, and I am on sprints with Alexis, fully booked. There are tarot reading sprints tonight, so I'm participating in those since my husband has a work event tonight, and the kids have both abandoned me to be upstairs. So I decided to take a little bit of an American Psycho, a little bit of a Bateman break, and read something a little different. So I started to try to end the Pearl, and this is going to be for my 7 of Cups card, which was a book at random. So I picked this randomly off my shelves. I am starting to read this one. I am only 35 pages in, so I don't have much to say yet, but this is about a queen named Coralie, or Corliss, I would say Coralie, and she is queen of an island nation. There's lots of islands, and she is queen, and they are ocean people. They are born in the ocean. Their mothers labor in the ocean, and they are born in the ocean. They die and are returned to the ocean. They are married in the ocean, and she was crowned in the ocean. So they're ocean people, and they have different gods that they worship. And at the beginning of this book, the island is under siege from a gigantic storm. Most of the islands are being flooded. Lots of people are dying. She makes a deal with the gods to stop the storm, pull back the tides. And the bargain is that if she does that, she has to marry, if they do that, she has to marry the first man that sets foot on the island. There is a fisherman that lands on the island, and she has to marry him in order to get to that bargain. And at the part I am now, they are about to be married, only 35 pages in. I'm assuming he is more than what he appears to be, but I have no idea. I read the synopsis a little bit, but I know that she not only has to marry him, but she has to take on his status. His people will now be her people. She has to leave the island. She has to give up her crown and all her worldly possessions and go off on his dinghy to wherever he came from. So I'm sure he is more than he appears to be, but right now he's not in good shape. He has like a raggedy old beard. He's all dirty. He's very injured. He appears to have a nice masculine muscular neck. That's all we know about what he looks like so far, and he seems to be in similar age to her. So far I'm having fun with it. I would say the first few pages I thought the writing was kind of clunky, but that could have been me, because now I'm starting to get into it a little bit more, so maybe it's just like the change in writing style from American Psycho. Anyway, we have 51 minutes left in this sprint. It'd be nice to get to at least page 50, 70, somewhere. It'd be nice to get to 100 pages. I don't know if that'll happen, but it's possible. It depends what time my husband gets home. So I'm going to continue reading this, and I'll talk to you when I have something to say about something. Wednesday now. I ran 3.5 miles this morning, and I had to do some threshold miles. I didn't have to, but my watch told me to, and sometimes I like to do what my watch tells me to do. So I did 16 minutes at like a 9-something pace, and I was able to do it. So that's a win. I'm happy with that. My plan for this morning is to read maybe 100 pages in this, and then if I need a break from Bateman, read some of this. And I have about 4 hours left of The Strength of the Few, so It's possible I finished that today. 4 hours at 2 times speed, or 2.25, which is what I'm currently at speed. So there's a chance I could finish that today, but I'm still might be tomorrow, especially since I didn't even listen to it on my run. Since I was running fast, I listened to music. We'll see if I have any audiobook time today. Oh, my husband just keeps texting me. What is going on? I'm gonna sit here and read. Got the dishwasher going. I already swept the floors. I already beat the rugs. Our little doggy hair catching rugs. And I already posted on Instagram. So we're just going to chill. Huh, baby? This is my last day with the kids in school for a whole day. And then tomorrow my son starts getting out from finals at like 11 something in the morning. So I have to pick him up. So this is the last day. And tomorrow I've got like doctor's appointments super early in the morning. I have my mammogram at 7 a.m. The doggos have grooming at 9.
I start my day in silence. Where are my slippers? Where's my notebook? My dreams, write them down. Write down your dreams. Write down your dreams.
This book, man. I just read A Glimpse of a Thursday Afternoon, and Bateman takes some drugs and he doesn't know exactly. He found 3 faded Nuprin in a Gucci pillbox, and he doesn't even exactly sure where they come from or what they are, but he takes them. And then he proceeds to just have this crazy stream of consciousness, doing horrible things. Nothing too violent, but just going throughout his day and just doing all these crazy things. And it's just like a wall of text. If you could say that, yes, a wall of text for several pages. Ugh, not the easiest book to read, that is for sure, with all the just like stream of consciousness slewing of name brands and what he's doing and what he's thinking, what other people are saying, but at the same time he's not paying attention to them. So you read what he's hearing them say, but then also reading the thoughts that he's having in his head that have nothing to do with what they're saying. But then offhandedly or not offhandedly, just directly, he'll say like something horrible, like, I'm going to chop off your head and put it in my freezer later or whatever. And you'd be like, whoa, I gotta pay attention to that. But the people in the book don't actually pay attention to that. They don't acknowledge it because it's too loud or because they're too involved in themselves or whatever. I'm on page 152 now. And he keeps on noticing Les Mis posters and talking about Les Mis. I'm like, why are we talking about Les Mis so much? It must have just been like really, really popular on Broadway when this book was written. But I'm like, Les Mis. Like, I swear, every chapter he talks about, he mentions Les Mis at least one time, which is odd. And everyone's just too into themselves to realize that Bateman's a serial killer, even though he tells them. And he does kill animals and men and homeless people who are also men and women in general. So lots of killing, lots of horrible language in here. There are racial slurs in here. There were horrible slurs for women in here. There were horrible names for everyone in here. So just be aware of that. Obviously, Bateman is not meant to be a likable character or sympathized in any way. It's hard because it's like I'm not enjoying the book, but I'm appreciating what is being done with the writing, with what Bret Easton Ellis did with the writing. It's very purposeful, even though it's not fun to read at times. I feel like it's very purposeful in the way that he is making you read all this nonsense, but then at the same time having these things going on. I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's an experience, and I'm glad I'm having the experience, but I can't say I'm enjoying the experience, if you know what I'm saying. But I am enjoying the experience because it's making me think, and it's making my brain work in a specific way. I don't know. I don't make any sense. I'm also on Sprints with Jan, Patreon Sprints with Jan, on my phone because I was too lazy to get up. I'm on page 238 of American Psycho now. I don't feel like I have all that much to say. Patrick Bateman's up to his creepy ass shit. And yeah, there's definitely some yucky animal stuff in here. Not super detailed. There is one scene with a Shar-Pei though that was not my favorite. He seems to be becoming more and more unhinged. Obviously he was already unhinged. He seems to be becoming more and more unhinged, taking more and more risks, is having episodes of like super anxiety and mania. So that's kind of fun watching him fall apart. I approve of that. He tried to strangle a guy and then that guy tried to hit on him, so that was weird. I was like, is this what happens in males' bathrooms? Men get strangled, and then the person who's being strangled is like, hey, I didn't know you felt that way about me. Maybe in the, well, that's true. In like the early 90s, I guess there was a lot more bathroom stuff going on and down low stuff kind of going on. But still, like if a man's trying to strangle me, I don't want to be anywhere near him. Well, and apparently Patrick Bateman wrote creepy poems to his college girlfriend who decided to go out to lunch with him. For what reason, I don't know, but she's a lawyer, so maybe there's something else going on there. Yeah, you wouldn't think you'd want to go out to lunch with him if you escaped that situation. At one point, he's playing with a baby, and he says, yes, I'm a total psychopathic murderer. Oh, yes, I am. I like to kill people. Oh, yes, I do, honey, you little sweetie pie. Yes, I do. That was kind of funny. Nothing happens to the baby. At one point, he tells someone all about this girl he beat up and said that she was too ugly to rape. So, anyways, I'm going to finish reading this. Hopefully, probably not tonight, because I might need a break from this book, but I'm hoping to finish it up. Oh, I lost my space. Oops. I'm hoping to finish it up today or tomorrow. I'd like to get more into the Trident and the Pearl. I still have not finished the Strength of the Few. I don't know where I am in that one yet. Yep, still have 4 hours left. So I'm on page 491, so I still have 210 pages left or so. So I would like to finish that one. That one's taking me a bit longer. I had to go for my mammogram early this morning, and now I'm home now. We're reading again. I gotta bring the dogs to the groomers in a little bit, and I am just trying to finish up American Psycho, which is as disturbing and disgusting as you've heard. So I'm just gonna sit here and read some disturbing book and take the dogs to the groomer in about 10 minutes. These descriptions of the killings and torturings are making me physically ill. I like a disturbing book, don't get me wrong, but this one is almost too much for me. Yeah. I will get back to my final thoughts, I guess, at the end, but with this one, I don't know, guys. I don't know what to think of it. It like does what it's setting out to do well, but I also think there's too much of everything. There's too much of the labels and the descriptions and the music and all of that. I don't think we needed like all of it. And the descriptions are just too graphic, in my opinion. I mean, it is what it is. I feel like it's effective, but I wouldn't have any idea how to give this a star rating. It's like I can see myself giving it 1 star, and also I could see myself giving it 4. I definitely couldn't give it a 5. So it talks about the hedonistic, materialistic, all that stuff of the 80s and late stage capitalism. I think it does it well, and people being so into themselves they don't notice what's going on around them, and business people not recognizing, you know, each other, and everyone is sort of interchangeable and calling each other by the wrong name, the nihilisticness of it all. But also, I think the movie does it in a way which I can appreciate it a lot more. It's like enough, but doesn't go past the point of can't handle, you know? I don't know. It's definitely not one I would recommend, that's for sure. But I am a curious person, and I end up reading things, especially things that are so like, deep within the zeitgeist, and I have to know. So I have to read them. Anyways, I gotta bring the dogs to the groomers. Okay, so I finished American Psycho. I have no idea how to read this book. I feel like I could argue with myself and rate it a 1. I feel like I could make another argument for 5-star. I feel like I could give it a 3 stars because it's smack dab in the middle. But then I feel like a 3-star is too high rating, but also too low rating. I have no idea what to rate this. So I think I'm going to leave this unrated on Goodreads. I am glad that I read it because it is such a part of the horror zeitgeist that I wanted to have read it, just to know that I've read it because I was curious and I wanted to see. I definitely prefer the movie. I think that this goes a little bit too far for me personally. It's definitely very splatterpunk extreme horror at times, and I can deal with that, but I much prefer a little bit more subtlety and nuance sometimes. I don't know what my taste is really, because I do like a messed up, disturbing book for sure, but then there are some parts, I think it's just because it was the sex women stuff that for me just got too graphic for me to read. I don't know, it just like took it almost too far for me, like the rat part, ugh, puke, and stuff like that, where it just got too gnarly for me. And I would say all the discussion about name brands and consumerism stuff that he bought and described, and then all the musical diatribes and all that, I understand what he was doing and what the point of it was, but I definitely got really bored and lost in the sauce in that at times, and I definitely skimmed a lot of the listings of items and materials and things that didn't really matter to the story at all, other than the fact that those are the things that he was thinking and existing. All those things are very important to him because that's how he relates to the world, and that's how he masks what he really is inside. Bret Easton Ellis could have lost like 50% of that, and it still would have gotten that point across very well, in my opinion, to the point where the reader didn't just like start skimming and zoning out. Just like I thought that some of the graphic torture scenes could have been cut down a little bit, and it still would have been just as impactful, at least for me. It probably would have been more impactful, at least for me, because I wouldn't have gotten taken out of the story. I do respect what this did, I guess. I just wish that it didn't have so much torture porn in it that someone could go out of their way to watch and be turned on by, you know? Like, I know like this book can be really popular, like the incel culture and stuff, and that just grosses me out as I'm reading it, because then I'm not just thinking about what Bret Easton Ellis may be meant to do with this book, but I'm also thinking about other people who could be reading this book. So that grosses me out. But then there are lines of brilliance in here and some things that are done in here that are super effective, that I think the graphic torture and all that stuff and all the consumerism stuff takes away from. Like I said, I think the consumerism stuff is important. I know what he meant to do with it, but I do think it's just too much. It gets bogged down. But then also I do compare it to like influencers of our time, you know, the big influencers of our time, where they wake up in the morning and they tell you where they got their clothes and what they're wearing and their face routine and what they're putting on their hair and what they're driving and what they're buying at Starbucks and what drinks they're getting and grocery, you know, what grocery hauls they're getting and what they're ordering from Uber Eats, and about their new computers and their new cameras and their vacations they're going on and where they're going and what to wear when and blah, blah, blah. So like people watch that stuff on YouTube all the time. Maybe it isn't too much on here. Like I said, it definitely made me think. I could give it anywhere from a 1 to a 5 star depending on which part of the book I am talking about. So I'm going to leave it unrated on Goodreads. Like I said, I am glad that I read it. There are some scenes in here that are going to live in my brain rent free, which I'm not too excited about, but I definitely want to read more from Bret Easton Ellis. I'm really curious to read The Shards. I really want to read Lesson 0. I do like the writing in here. I tabbed a whole bunch and then I lost my tabs that I was using. Underlined like at some point every other page, and so you can't give a book that had that much of an effect on you 1 star, 2 stars. So like I said, I have no idea. I'm still working on The Strength of the Few. I have like 3 hours left of the audiobook, and then I'm also reading The Trident and the Pearl still. Haven't read any more of that today. I wanted to just get this done. So this will be, I think, the second book in this vlog that I finished, and it's Thursday, so yeah, I haven't been reading quite as fast, but I am reading Strength of the Few, and that's 700 pages. This is 400 pages. Yesterday it was 400 pages, so just chunkier books are being read, and like the 700 page one, that's practically 2 books in one, 2 to 3 books. So, alrighty, I will talk to you when I finish Strength of the Few, probably, because I think I'm going to work on that for the rest of the day. I have finished The Strength of the Few by James Islington, and I'm giving it a 3.5. I definitely liked it a lot less than the first one. There was so much great family and character development and world building in the first one. And in this one, because of reasons, the world building was more difficult. Certain sections were a lot more interesting to me than others. I still think that the guys with the sword hands, the gleaners, were a really cool concept and really scary looking and creepy, but I definitely wanted more from that part. Especially there was a lot of like interesting tidbits in there and interesting moments, and I just wish we got more development from all sides. There were moments when Vis felt like he was leveling up and we didn't even know why, because there were time jumps, and it just seems like he went from this guy who went through this horrible thing and was recovering from that, and then he could do things suddenly that we didn't have a ton of explanation for. There was a death in here that I thought was pretty cheap and quick, and I wasn't happy with the overall arc of that character at all. And then the ending, it kind of like took back some things that happened in the first one, and I don't know, it just overall wasn't my favorite. Like, I still liked it. A 3.5 is not a bad rating. It's just, as I see what people are saying as compared to the first one, where I just thought it was like a booktube darling and everyone seemed to fall in love with that book, that this is just, you know, takes it down quite a notch, and that is sad. I think, you know, maybe this is a 4-star fantasy, maybe. I don't know. We'll see how the rest of the series progresses. I'm still interested in what's going to happen to Vis. I'm just not as invested as I was, especially with the first one. But there is an animal companion in this one, and I liked that a lot. I would have liked to get more of development of that for sure. Just more development overall. And I think that would have been hard to do with this because of the way that this is set up. I mean, it's already over a 700-page book, and the concept and why it was like that is interesting and different, but it just made it difficult. It made it difficult on all avenues to get enough of what was going on and enough development. So anyways, that is my final thoughts on The Strength of the Few. And I am continuing to read The Trident and the Pearl. This is the only book I have going right now. And I lost my page because apparently I closed it without putting my bookmark back, but I'm about 100 pages in. I don't have much to say about this so far. There are some really nice moments between, yeah, it's spelled O-K-E. So Coralie and Oak, they've gone off to live where he lives, and I am liking the way that he is treating her. And, you know, like, she's grieving for her husband that died. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it is mentioned in the synopsis, so I'll mention it here. And like, he just died, and like 2 days later she has to marry this dude. So she is grieving very heavily, you know, crying at night, and the way that he is treating her and helping her, I think that is appropriate and nice. He seems like a nice guy, but he has lots of secrets, and she's like, I can't trust him. He has a lot of secrets and he's refusing to tell me, but he's telling her, like, there are things that you don't know that I will tell you, I just can't tell you yet. So we'll see how it goes. I'm not too far into this one yet, but I'm liking it so far. And I really hope I do like it because it's a pretty book. And it has the annoying paperback flaps. I had to tape those down. Those were annoying the crap out of me. Anyways, I also wanted to update you now because I need to draw some more cards. I want to draw at least 1 or 2 more because I do need an audiobook. Several Libby borrows that are going to be taken away in like the next 5 days. So I'm hoping to draw something that will at least cover one of those. And then I want to definitely read some queer books this weekend for Jan's Patreon readathon. I'm already going to read, I already have one that I'm going to switch out instead of reading The Boys in the Valley. I'm hoping to draw something so I have option, because this will cover my random book, and then I need to read one more book to cover all my cards from my second card spread. This is the Two of Wands. So I need to look it up and see what that means. So this is continuing a series I've already started. So honestly, I don't know what I have that I could do for this right now over the weekend. I want to read Bitter Twins, and that's the sequel to The Ninth Reign. And I know there's a character in there, the women character that has a relationship with a woman, but I don't know if that really counts in my brain as like a queer-centric book. There just happens to be a queer character in it. Anyways, I'll have to think on this one, and then I want to draw one more. We'll see. Let's just cut the deck again. This is The Sun. Fun or joyful book. So I will have to think on both of these. And I think I'll just do one more. It'll just be a 3-card spread. The Star, The Sun and the Star. Interesting. A book you think will leave an impact on you, because that one's definitely easier. All right, so for my third 3-card spread, I have Two of Wands, the Sun, and then the Star. So I will let you know what books I pick to read for those. Now I gotta go pick up my child because it's finals week and he gets out very, very early. I'm not liking this anymore. I'm sad about it. It's so pretty and I wanted to love it because it's so pretty and I'd like to keep it on my shelves, and I paid full price for it, but unfortunately this is not working for me and I am very sad. I like some of the atmospheric writing in here. Right off the bat when I started reading it, I'm like, this writing style doesn't seem like it's for me, but I'm going to give it a shot. And the writing style grew on me a bit, but the miscommunication is here. It is here and it is heavy and I hate it. She finds out his big secret that's super obvious. Then she proceeds to want to take revenge because of reasons, and they don't talk to each other. And even when they do talk to each other, it's like in bits and pieces. And then, yeah, I just tell her what the frick is going on so that she's like, let go of your need for revenge and no blah, blah, blah. It's like, tell her why. Just tell her what's going on. I don't understand why you're not just telling her what's going on. I don't get it. And I think I'm going to DNF this, but I'm going to give it another half hour or so and see how I feel about it. Enjoyed the first 100 pages or so, how he was being like so tender with her, helping her and supporting her through her grieving and all that. Bummer city. But as long as I read 51% of it, which I've already read, then I can count it towards the prompt. So at least there's that. Also, I forgot to say it's Saturday morning, so I have 2 more days left in the second week. I'll make a decision on this one, and then I'm going to bring some things to read. I am taking my son to Six Flags today. I'm just dropping him off, him and a friend off, but it's about like an hour away, a little less than an hour away. But it is near, fairly close to a nice trail that I'll probably take a walk on. It's going to be hot, but I'll walk a little bit. And then there's a Barnes & Noble not too far away. And then there's also a Panera, there's a Target if I want to walk through there, see what I get up to. That's going to take up most of my day today. So I'm going to, if the boys are not super loud, it depends on this friends. I've never taken the friend that's going with us somewhere before. He seems like a quieter type. So if the boys are quiet and on their phones in the car, I'll listen to an audiobook on my headphones, through my headphones. But right now I'm listening to My Friends by Frederick Bachman. The loan will expire at some point. So I'm going to listen to that on the way there and on the way back if I can.
We were sparks on quiet streets, two hearts finding where to meet. But life pulled us apart, left me talking to the dark. If I called you tonight, would it feel the same? Or have we both moved on to different names? Take me back to the start, before the quiet and the scars, when the world felt small and your hands felt warm.
Quick update. I went for a walk. I went to Barnes. I took some books for a walk around the store and then put them back. But I do have some footage of that. And now I'm gonna go into Panera and read my book and have some lunch and just kind of hang out there probably for the next couple of hours until the boys are done. It is 1 o'clock and I have to pick them up at 4, so I have 3 hours to kill. I am about 50% of the way through My Friends, I think, and by Frederick Bachman, and it's going fine. It's going to be a sentimental, sad story about friends in the summer before their lives changed and they grew into adults because they were forced to. Sentimental, just as you would expect from a Frederick Bachman, but it's probably not going to be anything that I would want to go and pick up a copy of, you know? Probably just a nice solid 4-star book. Nice solid 4-star literary fiction. It is like 90 degrees out, so I'm going to go now because my car's off. So I will see you guys when I have something to say. Oh, and Tried It in the Pearl is still going pretty meh. She decides to do something that I just think is so asinine and dumb, and I don't think I'm going to be able to get over that, but I kind of want to know what's going to happen now, so I might still read.
Take me back to the start, if only for a moment. I've been up since 3, scrolling back where we used to be. Half truths in this late night chat, both of us knowing what a life at. Funny how we talk like we're fine, but your name still lives in my rhyme.
So I did decide to go on ahead and DNF the Trident and the Pearl, but I only had like 100 pages left to go, so I was able to use it for the prompt, so that's good anyway. I felt like it was going in the direction of a mortal woman biting off more than she can chew, thinking that gods can fix everything and not understanding that there's a price and a reason why that isn't the case, and why it's usually more human mortal issues that are causing the problems and maybe blaming it on gods. And I kind of like that idea and premise. However, I couldn't get past the fact that she was annoying the crap out of me, and she was this girl queen, and I mean she was married for a while, so we don't know exactly how old she is, but I'm assuming somewhere in her 20s. And the decisions she was making were just annoying me, and I just did not care, even though I only had like 100 pages left. So I decided either I could spend 2 more hours of my life reading this book that I don't think is going to get more than 3 stars if I'm lucky, 2 if I'm not, or I can move on. So I decided that since I could still count it, I just decided to move on, which I'm really sad about because it's such a beautiful physical book. Anyways, I started Spoiled Milk. And this is a sapphic horror about a boarding school where one of their most popular esteemed students has died under supposedly accidental circumstances. The friend group, one of the members of the friend group, thinks that this was not accidental, that this was caused by someone. And at the beginning of this, they're trying to figure out why, or they're trying to prove that this was not an accident, that there's something else going on. There's also apples that are seemingly perfect looking on the outside. When you bite into them, they're rotten and mushy. The milk seems to be tasting a little off. So there's things going on, and they're getting wrapped up in some of the mystical. They're trying to maybe perform seances. They have this magical book that they gave their friend right before she died. And so we're just delving into the mysteries and all that of what's going on. I'm reading this for Secrets Investigations, the card that I pulled that had that prompt, and we'll see where it'll go. I know Jan's, I don't know if it was Patreon or Full Moon Book Club, but weren't a huge fans of this one. I think she gave it 3 stars. I'm 75 pages in, and so far, yeah, it's feeling like a 3. It's entertaining, and I'm curious. Not really much has all gone on yet. I'm not really buying into any of the characters yet. I'm not invested really at all in the story, but it's entertaining, and so I'll just keep reading for now. And it is also reading rather quickly, so I will give it to the 50% mark, and if I don't care, then I'll DNF it again, but hopefully not. Hopefully I will at least be entertained enough to finish this one. Oh, and I'm also still 75% through Just My Friends by Frederick Bachman, so I'm hoping to finish that one today. I don't know if I'll run. I'm feeling kind of blechy, but maybe a run would make me feel, if not better, at least like I did something, because I haven't run since Thursday, because I woke up Friday with a stiff neck, and it still hurts, but I think a run wouldn't be a bad thing. And it's also been super humid, like heat advisories and grossness, and I'm definitely not adapted to the heat yet for the summer, so yeah, I did not want to run. I did walk yesterday. I walked about 45 minutes while my kid was at Six Flags, so that's good anyway.
Take me back to the start, before the quiet and the scars. Take me back to the start, before the quiet and the scars. When the world felt small and your hands felt warm. Take me back to the start, if only for a moment.
I am about, not quite halfway, but almost halfway through Spoiled Milk. This is giving meh. It's giving 3 stars. It's giving, I'm going to forget about it as soon as I read it. That's sad, but I'm almost halfway. I'm going to wait until I'm a little over halfway to decide if I want to DNF it or not. I think it's interesting enough that I can read it, and it's reading really quickly, so I might just finish this because I just DNF'd a book, but we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it. Yeah, it's just giving young adult thriller and not all that exciting. What else did I want to tell you about? I started Private Rights on audio towards the end of my run. It's hard to see that. I have the book, but I haven't grabbed it yet. This is by Julia Armfeld. She wrote Our Eyes Under the Sea, which I love. And this is a world in which the oceans have risen and people are having to live in different structures and things above the water. There are trains as well to travel with, but this book is surrounding 3 sisters whose father just passed away, and I'm just at the point where they're all getting phone calls about their father passing away, and they just got together in one location. It's 3 sisters, so there is definitely some queer elements in that book, which I am enjoying. Jan was having a little mini readathon with her members, and we're just all deciding to read books for Pride, so that's why I was trying to read more LGBTQ books this weekend if I had the option to, so that's why I picked up this one and Private Rights. And My Friends, also one of the characters in there is also a gay man, so, and I did finish up My Friends. I'm going to give it a 4. I thought it was a solid, it's exactly what you would think from a Frederick Bachman book. You know, kind of sad and nostalgic and, you know, heartwarming, and I liked it. 3.75. I'm on Sprints with Jan, and I'm gonna read a little bit more of this, and we'll see how I feel. One where I love the cover, but the book's not going all that great. A little update before I wrap up the second week of Tarot Readathon vlog, or to wrap up the second week of this Tarot Readathon vlog. I finished Private Rights, which I'm going to count for read a book that you will think leave an impact on you. I thought this would leave an impact on me, but it hasn't left much of an impact on me. I still enjoyed it. This is primarily about 3 estranged sisters after their father died and the repercussions of that and what he leaves them in their will. But there is also living in a world where the sea levels have risen and they are trying to live in a world where, you know, everyone is trying to live above the waters that are rising. And then the ending gets a little weird, which I really did like that. I just wish there was more of that in here in the first 2/3 of this. So I don't know, it's beautifully written and I was entertained the whole time. So I'm gonna give it a 3.5. I finished that, and that was for the star card. And then for a joyful book, I have started Practice Makes Perfect, because I figured this will be joyful because it's a romance, and I've read from Sarah Adams before. I read When in Rome and I really enjoyed that one. And I still have not read a Maker Makes book for the Buzzwordathon for May, so I better hop to it. And then I still have not finished Spoiled Milk. I'm on page 232. I have less than 100 pages left. At this point, I am going to finish it. My rating prediction for this is 3 stars max. It just wasn't really, unless it does something miraculous at the end, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case, but I will read the rest of it. I appreciate that this is sapphic. There's nothing explicit or said outright, really. Oh, maybe one time so far, but this is set in the 1920s, 1928. So I mean, I get that. But yeah, my guess is this is going to be 3 stars, but next week's vlog will have my official rating. And so I hope you enjoyed this video. That will end the second week of Tarot Readathon vlog. Please like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know how your week went and what you read and what was your favorite read from the past few weeks. And I'll see you next time.